Hi, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to revisit the Dublin Castle, and we are going to have a visit to the throne room. So it's not the throne you're thinking of. Or maybe it is. I don't know. So let's check out my workspace and we'll get started. All right, so this is my workspace for today, and we are going to work on the virtual crop sketch number 1, which is a pretty easily interpreted sketch, I think. Not too difficult. So this would be good for you if you are a beginner that just wants to maybe learn a little bit more about embellishing and adding borders and things like that. This would be a perfect one for you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch this border down here that they have designated on the sketch, and I'm going to use my border maker system to do that. I'm going to use this border maker cartridge, which is called the Woven Scallop border maker cartridge. This may not be in your collection. This is an advisor only, but you could ask your advisor and she should still be able to get this for you. I believe it is still in stock. So if you like this border maker cartridge, ask your advisor what you need to do to be able to get one. And if she's not able to get one for you, let me know and I can see if I can get one for you, okay? So we're going to use that. We're going to use our permanent and our repositionable adhesive. So set those, get those out and set those to the side. I have 4 pieces of paper on my table. We're not going to use all of this paper, but we are going to use bits of it. I'm going, the first 2, the striped papers, are from the National Scrapbook Day collection from 2021. And this paper right here, this pretty green one with the island down here and the Celtic design, tone-on-tone design, this is a paper out of the New Ireland theme pack of papers. So if you're looking for papers like this, that's where you'll find this particular page. And then I have a piece of gold shimmer out, which we're going to use to accent some things. And I think we're going to punch our border with that. But let's see how everything pans out, okay? I have already cut and arranged my photos because I was using some sizes of photos that were a little bit different than what the sketch called for. I because I take a lot of pictures with my phone when I'm on these trips, and then I have them printed in a digital fashion. So a lot of my pictures that would be 4x6 are actually 4x5 and I don't know, a quarter or whatever it is. So it fills my page differently than the way that the sketches often call for. So if you'll just bear with me with that, I did also add a picture or 2. So we will be turning this 1-page sketch into a 2-page sketch, because you know that's what I always do. I don't know why, but my brain doesn't think in single pages for some reason. So we are going to, first thing we're going to do is cut some things. So we're going to use these papers, and I'm going to set one of these striped pages to the side, and we'll see how much we can get out of one sheet, but I think we're going to need a second sheet to complete this. So let's just start with our striped page. So I'm going to put my paper in my trimmer so that the stripes are going vertically, and I'm going to cut 2 pieces that are 2x12. So I'm going to slide it all the way through and then use the 2-inch mark on my trimmer that's on the left of my cutting blade. And we're just going to cut these 2-inch pieces. going to, so they are going to be our top and our bottom, and this piece that we're going to punch is actually going to overlap this 2-inch piece, so that's why it looks a little different in the diagram here. All right, so then what we are going to do is we're going to cut 2 pieces that are 4 by 8. Let me see if I have enough. Oh, I do. Okay, so we're going to cut a 4-inch strip with our stripes going vertically, and we're actually going to use the back side for these pieces that we're cutting now, so don't worry about your stripes, no worries there. Okay, I'm going to need to extend the arm of my trimmer, so we'll just move that out there. And then I'm going to cut these to 4 by 12 inch strips. We're going to cut these down to 8. So it'll be 4 by 8, and then we'll have these extra pieces that we could use as mats. So I'm just going to set those up here, and we are going to flip these over so that we see the dark side, because that's the side we're going to use for that. Okay. Then we need this strip that goes across here, which is a 2 by 8. So we need 2 2 by 8s. And actually, I'm sorry, because we're doing 4 pages, I need 2 more 2-inch pieces for the other side of the page. So we're going to cut 2 more 2 by 12s. Alright, so that's for the second page. Good thing I had 2 sheets out there, huh? Okay, so this piece, I don't necessarily want to cut into the island down here. I just want the Celtic knotwork that's tone on tone up there, or we may possibly use the plaid that's on the other side. And I need them to be 2 by 8, so I'm going to cut another 2 2-inch pieces of this, and I'm cutting it off the top for a very specific reason. I want to preserve that lower half of the sheet so that I can possibly use it in another layout, and so rather than taking it off the side right here, I decided I would take it from the top so that I can save this bit for another day. So we'll decide which side we're going to use when we lay it all out here in just a second. That is all we're going to do for right now, and we may go back and cut some more mats, but for right now that's all we're going to do. We're going to punch 2 borders, and the way I like to do this is I like to do 2 different sides of the paper and then I trim it off. So I'm going to put this into my border maker system, and I'm going to go ahead and punch okay, so there's 1, and then I'm going to open this back up and flip my paper around, because it just seems like it's an extra step if you get your trimmer out every time to trim it off. So I punch both ends and then I pull my trimmer out. All right, so let's get rid of our confetti here. There we go. Okay, so don't put your border maker system away just yet, but grab your trimmer again, and we're going to trim this off. And I just want to see real quick how much how much paper we've used with that. Sometimes it takes a full 1/4 inch extra of your paper, and it almost does on either end. Okay, and I want to know that because I want to be able to allow for, let's see, I want to be able to allow for enough of this that I can punch the other side. So I'm going to cut this off at, let me just lift this up and see where it is. That is 1 and 1, 2, well, let's make it 3/8. 1 and 3/8. Okay, so we're gonna trim that at 1 and 3/8. We're gonna trim the other side at 1 and 3/8 also. 1 and, there we go, 1 and 3/8. All right. Now, I'm going to set my trimmer to the side again. We're going to use the Border Maker system and punch this twice more, but in order to do that, I'm going to need my Post-it notes because for sure this is not going to be grabbed by my magnet in here. It's too short. So we're going to just let the magnet hold on to the Post-it notes, and all will be well. Okay, so we're going to just put our Post-it notes on. Whoops, sticky side down, Kimberly. That's always helpful. Okay, so there we go. Then we slide it in just like we would a full-size piece of paper, and all the way out to the edge of the guide, and put our magnet arm down so that our paper is where we want it. Mine's buckling just a little, so bear with me a sec. I just want to make sure that's going to cut evenly or punch evenly. Okay, so then we just go ahead and guide our paper into the trimmer, or into the punch, sorry, and we're going to punch down this outside edge. Look at that cute design it makes. So 1 and 3/8 of an inch is where we cut this. We probably could have given it just a little bit more, maybe 1.5 inches, but that's okay. I like this. That's cute. Okay, so there's one. Now we're going to do this other one real quick. When I use Post-it notes to punch like this, I try to keep my Post-it notes as far from the area I know will be punched as possible. Sometimes I do end up punching my Post-it note, which is not too big of a deal, but that does mean then that you have to go back and peel off your Post-it note, which sometimes can be a little bit of a pain, but it's usually not too bad. Okay, so we're just going to come back down the side of this one. Okay, and you can see it's very, very close, and so some of my center pieces have not made it. They have punched through. So what I can do is possibly go back and punch another one. I'm not going to make you watch that though, so we'll do just a little bit of movie magic, and my editor will fix it. Isn't he wonderful? All right, so just like, okay, so here is here's my magically done punched piece, and we'll get rid of this one because it's not going to work. Or I may just hold on to it and keep it in my stash so that I can just remove these and use it for something else. We'll see. Okay, and this one is only missing one, so I'm just still going to use this one. I think it'll be just fine. All right, so let's go ahead and get to assembling these. I think that's all we need, aside from maybe some mats for photos. So I'm just going to move these punches out of the way and grab my pages, get them back over here, and we'll go ahead and get this put together. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my photos off. But in addition to that, the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and grab one of these sets of 2-inch by 12-inch pieces. I'm going to put this one with the more the more cut, or the less, I don't know how to say this, but can you see how that dark stripe got cut a little shorter? I don't want that little teeny bit of black. I want this more solid stripe. So I'm going to put this one on the bottom edge. I'm going to use my permanent adhesive and just go ahead and put my 5 spots of adhesive. That one got a little away from me. Oop, and I need to refill that. So we'll do that real quick in just a second. So this one's going to go across the bottom, and I always start at the hinge side of my page, which is the middle. So whether that's the right or the left, depending on which page we're working on, always make sure that it reaches the jeeping and wherever the hinge is, and then no matter how the edge works out, it just works out. Okay, so let's replace this quickly. And we'll get this other piece on. My hands, this is for those of you who are aware of the carpal tunnel surgery that I had done, this is kind of the first layout that I have filmed for you guys since I had that surgery. So if you notice that my hands are a little bit shaky, or maybe not quite what they used to be, that's why they're just sort of gaining strength back right now. Okay, so I'm just going to lay this on here. We're going to take a look and see if it is what we want to do it this way. Are we going to work? This piece is going to go over the top of this seam down here, so we won't see that. So we can do it like this, or we can flip this over and do it with the Celtic knotwork side. So it looks something like that. I'm kind of liking the plaid. What about you? I think, although I do like the green and how it works together, I just like the I think I wish I made decisions like this faster. That's what I think. I think I am going to go with the plaid side. So let's just do that. Okay, so we're going to flip this over and put our adhesive on the back. Really like the Celtic knotwork that's on this sort of title page that was provided in the theme pack. It's really pretty. I'm sure it will show up somewhere else in my album, so I'm not really worried about that. And this piece could have been cut to 8 and we could have saved a little bit, but I am not all that concerned at this moment. So I'm just not going to worry about it. I'm going to assemble this and then probably have to go and rest my hands for a little while because they're just not used to. Okay guys, where is my all-purpose tool? There it is. My hands are just not used to playing with paper like I had been doing before. Okay, I'm adjusting this because I want my papers to meet up here. We'll be able to see that. And we're not going to be able to see this edge down here as well, so that's why I was just fixing that real quick. Okay, and then this piece is going to go on with our repositionable adhesive. Okay, and this will go right across the seam down here, and that's why we won't see that, whether those two papers come together exactly, because this decorative border covers it. You can see a little bit of the adhesive through or in the edges, but I just rubbed that off and all is well. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll do this portion on page 2, and then we'll come back to that page. All right, so again, our 2 strips, we're going to put the one with more of a dark edge at the top and less of a dark edge at the bottom. And I keep getting crazy and going off the edge of my paper with my adhesive, so I have to fix it. Okay. There. All right, so once again, starting from the hinge, that's the edge I start on, and making sure that the outer edge is flush with the outer edge. I have to fix my adhesive again. Didn't quite fold over. There we go, just like that. Okay, then we'll do this one. All right. Use my finger to feel where that edge is and make sure my paper is all the way up there to the edge. It's harder to see and allow you to see, so I try to keep my head out of the frame of the camera as much as possible. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and put this one down. This is the horizontal piece. It's puckering just a little. I don't know why that is, so let's just pop that up and fix it. That'll be okay. All right. Okay, we're going to do this edge first so that it looks nice, because that, again, will be the one that's more easily seen. And then we have one more piece, and then we can move on to pictures. Okay. And I'm putting that piece that's missing, the little center, in the middle, because I think my photos are going to cover that. So then it won't matter at all. which will be lovely, right? Okay, so let's come back in here with our photos and decide if we're going to mat any of these or not. Okay, I may want to trim these up a little because I didn't think about the fact that that piece was 4 inches and my photos are 4 inches. But, all right, so just laying those on there very carefully. Not very carefully because they're not where they're going to stay. I'm going to trim this just a little. I'm going to just take 1/8 of an inch off either side, roughly, to make this 3 3/4 inches wide, so that we can see the dark behind it. Same thing with this quote. In fact, I'm going to take, I think, most of it from this side because that's already pretty close on the other side. We won't even miss it. Look at that. Okay, and if I pull this down just a little, it'll cover that area. No one will ever know, unless they watch the video, that there was not a little thing there. All right, I may need my trimmer again for these photos, but let's see. I think, yeah, I need it again. Because I wasn't thinking about this beforehand. So, okay, bringing it down again to 3 3/4, which really isn't bad. It's just taking about 1/4 of an inch off the side. And this one too, we'll need 1/4 of an inch or so. So we'll take it from that side, because I don't want to take it away from Haley. All right. So that'll go there, those will go there. Maybe we'll use these 2 photos and we'll mat these 2 photos on these extra bits of the paper that we used. So let me get these adhered real quickly. There's 1, and here's 2. My cute mama. Okay, so that'll go there. All right, so I'm going to go back and go ahead and adhere these photos in place, and then we'll talk embellishments. All right, so I arranged these just a little bit different, and that was mostly because with this extra photo up here, the end feels like it's kind of going up, so I moved these a little bit higher up. That gives us more visibility of our pretty punched piece down here, and kind of evens things out just a little bit better. It's still not super even, but it's a little bit better. Okay, let's talk about some embellishments. I had to sort through all these embellishments the other day because they were just sort of getting out of control and just sort of clumped all over. I think that's super cute. Maybe we ought to use that in there, kind of tucked under, and I can add another little sticker over the NSD part. That would be cute. I also want to leave a little space for some journaling, but I don't think I'm going to actually put a journal box per se on there. Let's see. We'll do some lucky and blessed. I had these little envelopes from all of the embellishments from this NSD, and so I sorted through everything and then saved the pull both of those out. Saved the little envelopes, and they work great for sorting your embellishments. So I try hard not to throw these away willy-nilly. They can be great for sorting, keeping your things separated a bit, which is nice. Okay, let's just grab some shamrocks as well and add a little bit of, maybe a little bit of bling. Okay, let's see. We'll just grab some and we'll see where we end up. Okay. So I know I want to put this over here and underneath. While I'm doing this portion of this video, how about if I explain what we are doing here? These photos are taken from the Dublin Castle in Dublin. It's a castle that is, I think I explained in another video, this castle is used mainly for aristocratic and judicial type things. It's not no one lives here at this castle that I'm aware of. And so it's full of art and these amazing sculptures. That is made from the plaster on the wall. Pretty amazing, the stuff that a plasterer who knows his trade can do. I certainly would never be able to do that with plaster. Anyway, just some fun things. This is just right near the throne room. Here you can see the throne, but there really has not been a monarchy in Ireland for as long as I have been alive anyway. So they use that area for whoever the leadership is in the country when visiting dignitaries come. They use this area of that's what it was explained to us anyway. But otherwise it sits pretty much just on display for the tourists to see. So kind of cool. And I think there's another photo on another page, I'm not sure if I've done it yet, that shows this area up here with the seal. And anyway, just kind of fun. This quote was on the wall there, and I thought it was very appropriate. It says, "The human face is not one thing, nor does it remain always the same. Portrait painting is then painting from recollection and from a conception of character, with the object before us to assist the memory and understanding." So another just kind of interesting little tidbit for you. All right. And I'm just adding just a couple of extra little guys on this, little clovers, to kind of pull things together. They do say that when you have 3 things in your cluster, it tends to be more pleasing to the eye. So that's my goal with that, is just to, I added that repositionable adhesive and I didn't even use it. Oh dear, well, that's just the way sometimes, isn't it? All right, so we're gonna put this up here, this down here. I'm not gonna worry about a 3rd embellishment on this page, just because I want this area here to journal in, and I just don't want to have to try to squeeze it in without covering something up. So let me know what you think. This again is the Virtual Crop for May sketch number 1, which is this single page sketch that we turned into a double page sketch, and goes together pretty easy, I think. I think it would be relatively easy for a beginner leaning towards intermediate scrapbooker to put this together, and I'll put that in the description so that hopefully those of you who are at that level will be led to this layout, because I think it comes together really easily. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please be sure you leave me a comment in the comments section. We're still working towards our ultimate goal of having 1,000 subscribers, and we're almost there. Thank you so much, guys. So share this with anybody that you know who's a paper crafter and ask them to subscribe for me, would you? I would really sincerely appreciate it. Thanks so much for joining me today. Until next time, I hope you have many more creative moments. Make it a great day.